Hi, this is Deborah Arlauskas. I've chosen the narrative approach. What is narrative inquiry approach? It's the power of a story. The narrative inquiry approach focuses on validating the experiences of the individual through a qualitative study designed based on interviews and observations, the exploration of social, cultural, linguistical, familial, and institutional dynamics that characterize a series of events are interpreted, analyzed, and shared objectively to reveal meaning. The origin. Originating from literature, history, anthropology, sociology, and sociolinguistics and education, the stories collected become the data for narrative research, considered to be a methodology and a phenomenon. Narrative inquiry began with researchers like Conley and Clandinin to study and understand experiences of teachers. The narrative approach is the result of a reform movement in the 1970s that posited that conventional research methods did not reflect social and personal experiences of research participants. Narrative research was created to tell the story of an individual, recognize and mobilize marginalized groups, and initiate political action. Article analysis. The topic of my narrative inquiry was the dynamic relationship between culture, language, and education by Esther Yim Mei Chan from the Education University of Hong Kong for her dissertation. The purpose was to examine the relationship between culture and language, to encourage and support teacher development and reflective practices through storytelling. The participants were Esther Yim Mei Chan and her student teacher, pseudonym Wendy. The research questions: what is the relationship between culture and language and its impact on learning? How does narrative inquiry support teachers to become reflective thinkers? Data collection: informal interviews, family stories, school stories, reflective journals, and autobiographical writings were shared by Esther Yim Mei Chan and student teacher Wendy. The participants shared embedded stories, analyzed and interpreted narratives to seek meaning regarding the construction of teacher knowledge in a narrative, experimental, and practical manner. Data analysis. The researcher collected, transcribed, organized, and analyzed all of the collected data, generating themes and adopting predetermined codes. The findings. Through narrative inquiry, a process of knowledge construction, participants have the opportunity to share and reflect on their lived experiences. The didactic teaching of English as a high status and favored language exasperates passivity, and inhibits reflective and creative abilities of students. Storytelling can function as a mediation tool to stimulate and inform teaching practices. Narrative inquiry serves as a tool for knowledge construction through reconstruction of experiences. To summarize the findings with consideration to our coursework and the texts that we use, narrative inquiry is a way of understanding experience. It is a collaboration between researcher and participants, an emerging area of promise for attaining more complex understandings. Esther Yim Mei Chan collaborated with a student-teacher colleague to use narrative inquiry as a vehicle to implement practices of storytelling and self-reflection to promote growth and change for the whole learning community. The challenges were to meet the requirements of an ethical review committee, loss of personal privacy, to be responsible as a collection and analyzation and telling of the story, who owns the story, to uncover the multi-layered context of a life, and how do stories affect the community. Strengths: participants have an opportunity to reflect and be heard. build a deeper understanding through narrative inquiry, a source of knowledge, and determine how past experiences have shaped lives. Transform what is to be learned according to experience and existing understanding. My thoughts. Reflecting on Esther Yim-Mei Chan's dissertation and the approach of narrative inquiry, I believe that everyone has a story, and storytelling is a significant part of learning. I agree that the importance placed on English at the university impeded the work of the students and hindered their learning. Narrative inquiry inspired the research participants to reflect on their own experiences, which gave them deeper understanding of feelings and behavior. In kindergarten, narratives are means to encourage kind, respectful, responsible, and safe behavior to young scholars. For instance, a treasured book in our classroom library is Martin's Big Words, The Life of Martin Luther King Jr. by Doreen Rappaport. This story reveals the power of words and peace. Thank you.